Welcome to the Daily Fox Fuel, where we train kingdom-minded creatives, leaders, and builders to become highly skilled craftsmen. Each episode is your spark of strategy, scripture, and straight-up truth to help you walk out your calling with excellence. Now let's get to work. What's up, Foxes? Hey, today I want to talk about a topic that, I'll be honest, I'm not the best on, but I think it's a topic that we've all heard and we've all dove into, but it's around rest. And I'm coming off, a lot of this is on my mind because I'm coming off of last week of training, gym training. It's called Deload week, where you kind of bring down your weight, your resistance. You go down from like a 90% weight to 60%, right? So you're pushing, you're pressing, you're still lifting heavy, but you're nowhere near like your 90% of what you could do. And it's been a hard challenge for me personally to go through that week. I used to skip that week and I just keep going because I want the gains and I don't want to lose muscle. And I've just realized over time how essential that week really is in the growth of my body, my muscle, my gains. And it's translated a lot just into life. Even with my personality, I'm just an achiever. I'm a guy I'll run, I'll get it done. I hate the word burnout, but we've all been there. We've felt it before. I think it's just very overused in today's world. But I think it's a real thing if we're not careful with it and we're not careful to observe the times when we need rest and to observe that rest actually is a form of resistance. Our culture glorifies the hustle. But as we all know, constant hustle is just disobedience. When we refuse to rest, we are telling God that we don't trust him to carry the weight. And that's been a hard reality for me that I've had to face and to really understand about myself is that I'm trying to do everything I can to keep things going versus, hey, you know what? Taking a moment to breathe, taking some time to deload, taking some time to take a step back. Now, this is not always an escape. I think that's what's important to note here. It's not that for a week I'm not working out. It's not that I go from really pushing hard and pushing, all this capacity, all this weight to nothing. And I think that's what we get in our heads. We go from extremes. It's got to be all in, all out. It's like, it's not. That's not how it works. Nor is that even healthy in a lot of ways. The cool thing about Deload weekend training is I'm pushing each training season's about 8 weeks long. So for 7 weeks, I'm every week pushing harder, adding weight, doing more, going harder, like for 7 straight weeks, pushing myself physically. And then the 8th week, we dial it back a little bit. But here's the crazy thing is not only am I dialing back the way I go from 90% to 60%, I'm still pushing hard. I'm still sweating. I'm still lifting. I'm still gaining. I'm still moving forward, but I'm allowing my body to rest and recover. That's the key word there, recover. I think it's important for us to know that we have to take some time to cover, but it's not an immediate eject button either. It's not going from all this to all that. It's finding a rhythm, resting while you run. Maybe you just go for a little jog instead, Walter Brueggemann wrote this quote that I love about Sabbath, and it's Sabbath is resistance to the coercion of the empire. In other words, like rest pushes back against a culture of grind and scarcity. That scarcity mindset of everything's going to be gone. It hits me all the time, especially being a business owner, all the time. And I have to fight it spiritually. In Exodus 20:10, I love it. It says, on it you shall not do any work. God commanding them to not work. Rest isn't laziness, okay? And I'm having to tell myself that. I'm having to remind myself that, and I'm here to tell you and remind you that today. Because rest isn't laziness, it's warfare. It's declaring that God is my source, not my schedule. God is my source. My source is not my schedule. It is not the things that I can accomplish, the things that I can achieve, the things that I can get done, although my mind would tell me otherwise. I have to be okay with resting in his presence, closing up shop when it's time, going and spending time with friends, rejuvenating myself, taking a deload week, right? Dialing it back, pushing hard some days, dialing it back other days, because it's a rhythm. We are not in a sprint here. It's a marathon. We've got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, that we're resting, but it's not extremes. Let's not push ourselves to the extremes here. Let's not get ourselves to the place of like having to hit the eject button every other week. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's be mature about what's on our plates and what we can handle, and say no to the things that we can't handle. And that's okay. Sometimes you just got to dial it back a little bit. So today's challenge: what would it look like for you to practice rest as an act of obedience this week, not just as a form of recovery? How can you find a spot where maybe it's, hey, I'm going to take a moment to just rest? It may not always look the same for everybody, right? It may not look like an entire day off, right? It's sleeping in. Maybe it's just taking a nap. Maybe it's just doing something you enjoy this weekend. Maybe it's playing an extra game of pickleball. And maybe it's just allowing yourself to do what you want in a moment that you want to do it in.
Hey crew, before you jet, make sure you share this episode with a friend and leave us a rating. Thanks for tuning in today, and remember, stay foxy.